Enjoy a 15-minute mind break with Ben. Ben has unlocked the secrets of understanding how our minds control our business and daily lives. Inside each episode, Ben shares his proven actionable items, tips, and secrets to managing the supercomputer between your ears so you can build and develop your business and start living the life you desire and deserve. This is Practical Psychology for Business with Benjamin Halpern.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I think this message will transform your life so much for the better, which is really the goal of these podcasts, to be able to manifest the life you conceive in order for you to be able to achieve it, in order to be able to create the life that you desire and deserve, to be able to unfold the script that you wrote for your life, the script that you want to experience in life, and make it real. Now, a big part of creating the life that you want is to come on to other people. We cannot create our life by just influencing and managing our behaviors. It's extremely important and vital for most things in life to have the input or the action of other people. If you're in sales, for example, which you are, if you either sell a product or you need to sell your significant other, or you need to sell your children, or you need to sell your parents, or you need to sell, your clerk. The bottom line is that you're in the business where you need other people to do things in order for you to be able to live the life that you dream about. They have to buy your product, they need to listen to your message, and so on. So it's extremely important to be able to get other people to understand and to act on a message that you would like to give them. Okay, so let's break it down this way. In your mind, ethically, psychologically, financially, spiritually, however you want to look at it, you have a message that you believe is correct and should be acted upon by somebody else. You think it's very, very good for them to do the behavior you want them to do the action that you want them to do, to think of it in the way you want them to think. And you want to give that message over to them. You want to Bluetooth it to them. You want to message it to them. You want them to see the way you see. Because if they will see in the light that you see it, chances are they will follow through on the act or behavior that you want them to do, which in essence will earn you money or success or the ability to, if it's children, that they do the right thing. If it's, a coworker, that life becomes more peaceful and enjoyable. If it's a loved one, so the relationship builds. But you obviously have an interest, you have an idea, you have a concept that you want to beam over to them for them to see it that way and change their action, change their behavior. How do you send the message from your mind into somebody else's mind? Right, so the ABCs is you send it over verbally. Through saying words, you get it over. So if we break that down, right, so you have something in your mind. It is so complex. It is so broad. It's not 3D. It's 3 billion D when it's in the mind form, in the thought form. But you can't send that over to anybody else. So you need to compress it into word form. And with words, you give it to the other person. And then those words, the way they're presented, will then once again unfold, open up, so that person could then experience it the way you sent it to them. Right? That's the process. It's quite complicated, but we do it. Now, we have people that are considered great communicators. They have the ability to formulate their words in a very, very good way where really what they have gets very, very well compressed and sent to somebody else, and that person can be very close to the way they want the other person to experience it. So they're very good at that. Now, becoming a good communicator, there's many ways we communicate, because on the communication scale, if you break down communication, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but 55% of communication is nonverbal communication. And then like 35% is the tonality and the style of your voice, and very, very little in the single digits is the actual words that you say. So there's a lot to communication besides just giving a message. We're not going to cover in this specific podcast everything related to communication. But we're going to discuss one vital point in this podcast. In the following podcast, we're going to cover the whole Monty. But for right now, in this podcast, I'd like to discuss an extremely important component. You see, there are different parts of our minds. There's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. To break it down simply, the subconscious mind has unlimited filing space. Everything you ever saw, heard, experienced is recorded there. Forensic hypnotists, I've had people repeat conversations that their parents had when they were in utero. Everything is recorded somewhere. When you go in the street, even though you don't experience everything going on out there, you do actually see everything that goes on out there. Since your conscious mind is a very, very limited space, so you don't experience it consciously, but it's like a video camera. It all goes into your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is limited and can only process a certain amount of information. If I want to give somebody else a message, I got to be certain that their conscious mind is clear and empty, so there's space for my message to go in. If their conscious mind is full, then my message will go into their subconscious mind. That means theoretically a hypnotist can get that information out of them, but they didn't experience it or process it. That's like the cars that I saw on the way to work today. I don't know what I saw. So it's not helpful in influencing me to make a choice. When you're trying to get a message into somebody else's mind, their conscious mind has to be cleared. It's not just getting the information into their subconscious mind. That's not going to help you. It's not going to be useful to get them to make a different decision. You need to affect and get the message into their conscious mind. Now, their conscious mind needs to be cleared in order for there to be space for them to process your message. Now, one of the biggest obstacles that keeps our conscious mind clogged is something that we're in the process of sending out. In other words, if they have a message that they want you to hear, then their conscious mind is fully loaded and they cannot take anything in. So despite the fact that you're giving them a beautiful message and presenting it with the greatest words and tonality, it's not going to go in because there's something in the send and receive box. There's something that needs to go out. And this is why you need to learn the skill of active listening. Because the way we remove something from somebody else's conscious mind is by accepting the message. If they have a message that has to go out, until they don't feel message sent, they don't have the clarity or peace of mind to take in another message because the conscious mind is clogged. So they have an objection. They have something that's on their mind that's bothering them. They have something that they need you to understand. You have to first deal with that. You have to first process that with them. You have to first remove it from their mind, so to say, in order for them to have the space. Okay? The first question is, when you start engaging with them, you hear what's on their mind. And if they tell you, they're going to explain you why they shouldn't buy from you, or why they shouldn't listen to your message, or why, whatever else they want to say, there are 3 steps you need to do to remove that, to accept it, to take it out of their conscious mind, to clear the conscious mind, so then you could then send your message. The 3 steps are, number 1 is mirroring. The first step in getting somebody to feel understood and heard, where they can let go of their message, is when they feel that you mirror them. Mirror them means literally repeat back to them their message. Now, it's like music to their ears that somebody actually took the time to listen to what they said. Pretty close to what they're saying verbatim. Now, don't repeat them back like a parrot, but pretty much say, so you're saying that, and tell them back what they're saying. Now, they might say, that's not what I'm saying, and tell it to you again. Then mirror it back again until they're comfortable and they're happy that you mirrored back their message. That's the first step at taking the message from them. The second step is validation. You need to validate. You need to give them permission to have and feel the way they feel. Even if you disagree with the message, don't send your message yet until you do this 3-step process because it's not going to go into their mind because they're not in a place where they can take it back yet or hear what you have to say before you do these 3 steps. So step number 1 is mirror them back. Now, even if you disagree when you're mirroring back, don't do anything yet besides first validate. Give them permission to feel, believe, understand the way they do. So validation basically means to say that if I was in your shoes and I lived your experience and I had your view of the world, I would feel the same way. In other words, I give you permission and understand that you can feel the way you feel. That's the second step. So you mirror back, and then you validate. Before you say anything, you give them permission to feel what they feel. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. You're giving them permission to feel what they feel based upon their life experiences. Number 3, if it applies, you need to empathize with them. Feel bad that they're experiencing what they're experiencing, that they're in distress or they're frustrated. Feel bad for them, even if you disagree. So why should you feel bad for them? They're doing it to themselves. That's only possible to share once you empathize with them where they are. So number 1, mirror back what they say, then validate, give them permission to feel what they feel, and then empathize. Feel bad with them. Be with them in their space for whatever discomfort or frustration or anger that they feel. This is regardless of what you feel. It doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree. That will fully give them the feeling that you heard them, you listened to them, and they don't have to continue sending the message. Because the way we do it as human beings, think of a 2-year-old child. So they throw a tantrum when they feel, let's say they say, can I have a chocolate? You say no. They up the ante. They scream louder. They throw a tantrum because they are saying message not received. So they keep on sending it until it gets received. Adults are the same way. If I have a message that's not received, we do it in an adult way, but I get obsessed. I need to get that message out, and I just pump out the message, and I don't let anything in. I get hyper-focused on giving the message. So once you mirror back the message, then you validate the message, and then you empathize. Now the person feels message received. They will stop needing to send it. So they will relax. Their mind will become clear. Now you're in a position to be able to then share with them your view, your message, your process. So regardless of what the case is, who the other person is and why you need to influence them and why you need to get your message through to them, the key is, before you send your message, make sure the space is available. Active listen, mirror, validate, empathize. That clears the space, and now you're in a position to be able to present and send your message and allow them to be able to hear it, appreciate it, and understand it, and receive it in order for it to affect them in a way that they will then make the decision and act in a way according with the way you believe they should and do what they need to do to help you forge ahead and create the life that you desire and deserve. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.